I'm at home, and I'm gonna be home tomorrow night too.
No, I mean, your mic sounds weird.
Oh, I'm on the mic you gave me.
Tap it.
Tap it. Nope, you're not on it.
You're not on that mic.
I was. It switched off. Hold on.
And make sure the power switch is on too.
No, I'm on it. I'm definitely on it.
No.
Is the power switch on? You got a red light. Is it connected through USB or through the? If it's connected through the mixer, you're not going to have the red light.
I don't have the red light.
No, you're not going to unless.
But it's on, and the microphone.
Yeah. But you have it going through the mixer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if it's going through the mixer, you're not going to have the red light. That only comes on when it's connected through USB.
It doesn't sound like it's.
You're not on that mic. You tapped it, and we heard nothing.
No.
Everything says I am. Hold on.
Mixer's turned on. Check that power switch.
Yep, I see
it's
lights.
In the back, isn't it?
Yeah, I see everything. Everything's turned on.
All right, look at your audio input for StreamYard in Chrome.
Hold on.
Yeah, you got to go in StreamYard settings. Don't mess. Check that first before you start messing around with stuff.
Hello. Do you hear me?
Just tap it.
Go into StreamYard. Check the settings.
I did.
See what
StreamYard. Camera, mic,
says,
audio.
It says
USB microphone default. Audio. Yeah, it says mic default Scarlett 212 USB, which is my Focusrite, and the mic is plugged right into it. Maybe I'll reboot or come back in. I don't know.
Plus, I'm hearing. What is that? Are you hearing a clicking sound, Dave?
Yes, I am. I was wondering what that was. You have a fan on?
I'm just moving. I'm moving my mouse. Is it this?
Hold on a second. I'm going to mute you for just a second. See if that's coming from you.
Yep.
Yeah.
We hear a fan.
Well, I don't know if it's a fan, but there's some clicking noise that's coming from your audio.
Okay, well that's actually not real noise because it's dead quiet in here. So
well, it's real noise if we can hear it.
It's picking up something. Yeah.
No, it's something obviously through, after the microphone is what I'm saying. All right, let me reboot and see. I was playing a GarageBand. Maybe that did something before. Hold on.
Oh my God.
Well, you just froze.
Did I?
You're back. No, you're back now. You're back now.
Gotta make sure I'm on Edge. I'm using Edge. Yeah.
You hear that?
Yep.
Okay.
Back to the Heil?
No, this is the Audio Technica 3035.
Oh, I couldn't tell.
Which looks a lot like the Heil, which is
right.
It's around here someplace. I can't even keep track anymore. Because where I used to have the Heil, I've got that SM7B that I've used for like once. It's the best mic I own, and I've used it like once in the last 2 or 3 months.
Just like the Rode mic you haven't used, the pod mic you haven't used in a while either.
Yeah, it's this one.
Yep.
Oh wait, no. You mean okay.
I mean my mic, the one I have.
Yeah, where is that? I might have that in the box. This is the Zoom mic. That's real nice. I picked up.
I saw that there was mixed reviews though.
For the Zoom mic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of it depends on what application you're going to use it for. And for spoken word, most of what I read was, it's fine for that.
Yeah.
They don't even. I mean, Audio Technica doesn't even make this mic anymore. It just at some point last year, sitting at home when I was bored, and that's a really very dangerous combination.
Yeah.
I read something somewhere about this microphone that Audio Technica didn't make it anymore, and that it was a really good mic. So I started looking online, and found it there, and got it at a pretty good price. It's not that different from the 2035, which they still make, but I don't know if I like the tone of it. I listened to last week's iMac podcast, and I was kind of like, I don't know, but this is the last time I'm going to use it. I'll switch to a different one for next week.
As you always do.
I don't know which one yet. Well, I mean, I'm trying to use them all. So far I've done the Sennheiser, I've done the other Audio Technica, I've done the AKG D5, I've done the Behringer BA85, I've done whatever the hell this one is, the SB78, ATM 510, the Rode M2, the Pod mic, of course.
I can't beat this mic. I sound very good on this mic.
No, that's a great mic. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the Pod mic.
Nope. Very happy with it.
Yeah. Did you? Well, and actually, we're live. So I was about to start a conversation that I don't want to talk about live, so I won't.
Hold that thought.
All right, tap it.
Anything?
Yes.
Need some gain though.
Yeah, you need to turn it up a little bit.
It's all turned up. How's that?
That's much better.
Good. You hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Too loud? Too loud? Is it too
No,
loud or not loud
you're
enough?
fine. You're fine. No,
Okay.
no. I mean,
Probably a
really, just
smidge.
make a fist and
Just like I would turn just a smidge.
Which
and
way?
you need to center
Down.
yourself
Up or down?
Down.
Okay.
Just a
Down.
smidge.
Okay. That's a smidge.
All right,
Okay.
you're good.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Tonight on the Mac to the Future Livecast, go. Only crooks have iMacs. Actually, I mean, there's a chance that your iMac is crooked, and there's just no way to put a positive spin on that. It shouldn't come as a great surprise that Tim Cook doesn't want side-loading apps for iOS and iPadOS, and it has nothing to do, according to Tim, with how much Apple makes from the App Store. And a Democrat from Rhode Island wants to force Apple and others to divest themselves of their app development teams. All of that tonight, and most likely more, on the Mac to the Future Livecast. Go. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Mac to the Future Livecast. I am one of your humble hosts, Guy Searle, and it would not be the Mac to the Future Livecast if, number one, we didn't have problems with audio before we began. And on that note, and it's not me this time, darn it, it was Warren Sklar. Hello there, Mr. Sklar. How are you?
I did have audio problems. Can you hear me now?
You sound
We
great.
can hear you now. We can
All
hear
right.
you now. You're just like the Sprint guy. We hear you now.
You know,
And we
life
are
is
also- ahead.
life is tough. Life is tough when you have two houses, 4 computers, 2 mixers. I'm going back and forth for the summer, and I can't keep track of anything. So
Yes, we feel your pain, Warren.
first world
Feel
problems.
your pain. Yes. Hello there, Mr. David Ginsburg. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Glad to be back after last week's long week of dub. I thought I must have done at least 6 things last week, and
Podcast related?
podcasts and my Apple user group, iPhone special interest group with Kelly. Actually, Kelly was on with me.
Cool.
And Kelly was on 2 weeks in a row, so we had a lot of fun. So,
Well, all
and,
I can say to that is, Okay.
Good to be here.
It is. This is going to be that kind of show tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Let's get right into it. I don't think that we have all that much to talk about, but there are a couple of interesting things going on. Love or hate the new iMac, guys. You have to agree it's an amazing looking computer. Unfortunately, for some, that amazing bit might leap into the weird, with some users noticing that the screen is not exactly on center and there's a notable tilt to the display. If you've just gotten yours, you might want to check it before your 14-day no questions asked return policy from Apple expires. Did either one of you hear anything about this?
No.
We both.
There was.
Yeah, I heard
there
about
was
it today,
a
yesterday.
there was a guy who apparently got his new iMac, and he's a reporter for somebody, and looked at it, and he was kind of like, "There's something not quite right." So he checked it, and sure enough, his screen is like tilted to one side a little bit, and
sounds like a Chevy Nova.
Yeah, well,
actually, I was going to say if it's a Tesla, it's within spec, and that's like a running joke in Tesla because the build quality is just terrible. I actually set one up though the day before this article came out. I put some pictures up on the Mac the Future group. It's really beautiful. First of all, it's it doesn't look ugly. The iMac both, but the the iMac looks better in person than it does on pictures. I think it gets a bad. Some people hate the design. I liked it. The MagSafe thing was neat. It's a little more involved with just a magnet on the old MagSafe. You really have to place it right and play with it, but it's nice. It was the screen was good. I did a restored from a backup time machine backup from a 2012 iMac, and it went fine. So,
wait, you have an iMac?
Yeah. No, I set it up for a client.
Oh, okay.
And she, and she loves it so far. But yeah, I would have totally tried to see if it was tilted. It might have been, to be honest with you. I didn't check.
Well, I saw my first one in person. Last Saturday was my son Peter's 25th birthday, and
happy birthday!
As a gift to me, he went with me to Micro Center, which is a kind of a adult electronic playground here, series of stores here in the United States.
Best Buy,
and Best Buy's got nothing on Micro Center.
I know.
Micro Center's like well, it's like the old Maplins, kind of like back in England.
Or CompUSA.
Yeah.
No,
well,
there is no Mike. Have you've never been to a Micro Center? I think there's one near Chicago.
Yeah, of course I have. There's two locations.
There's one near me too.
I love that store. And I almost bought a 65-inch TV while I was there, but I wasn't sure it was going to fit in the place where I have the 55-inch. Again, first world problems. Oh no, will that 65-inch TV fit in the space where my 55-inch one was before? So I didn't buy it, and I'm doing some looking right now, and I'll find out if it will fit, and then try to get a decent one at a good price. The weird thing is right now is like not the time to buy electronics. With everything right now with the supply chain so interrupted is so expensive. So I guess it shouldn't be too much of a surprise that
I'm just right now I'm just annoyed that my picture is so much smaller.
Perfect. There you go, Dave. That's great. Perfect.
It's actually that Dave looks huge compared to us. Guy and you and Guy and me look like little twin brother. I don't know if you're in the same order as me, but
see, my problem is I just have a big head to start with. I'm kind of a big guy.
Yes.
So, but getting now, you guys have seen in person these new iMacs, and
yes,
I have to say I saw, like I was saying, I was at Micro Center and I saw one for the first time. It was a purple one, which
that's the one I set up.
Would not be a color. That would not be a color that I would choose for an iMac.
It wasn't bad. It didn't look bad.
But as well, I don't know. But as I looked at it, it was kind of like, that's pretty attractive. I kind of like and it's enough like the old one where they didn't make a radical departure from what it was before, but it's still different enough, especially with the colors that they're offering, that it's still a good looking machine. Now, of course, I hadn't read this story at the time I was in Micro Center, so I didn't think to check and see, was it 23 degrees on this side and 26 degrees on that side?
Actually,
I don't know.
Guy and Dave, I
Yeah.
think we have a challenge. We should do the weekly challenge where each of us go to our local Apple stores and try to find the crooked iMacs and take the pictures. And, yeah, I saw that one.
But that's every week.
Listen to my idea. We all go to our own Apple stores, and whoever can find the most crooked iMacs wins. And you could go to as many Apple stores in your area as you want. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I'm tempted to do that. Just because it would give me a chance to go to some of the local Apple stores. It'd be like telling my wife, no, honey, I have to do this. It's part of the podcast.
Just don't buy another computer.
No, I won't.
2 days ago,
24-inch iMac does not tempt me at all.
No,
2 days
As
ago,
nice as it looks.
every Apple store opened. As of 2 days ago, every Apple store is open.
Full tilt.
Again. Yeah. It took, what did they say, 900 something days, I thought it was.
No.
Well, it was
No,
going back
that's
to
too many.
March.
Or
That's way
350,
too
500?
No. Yeah, I'd say about 500 to be more realistic.
Yeah.
I think
550.
it would be 500 because
It
because
felt
it was
like
back
900.
in March. Back in March when they shut them down.
Right. And then they finally eased it into them now. So, yeah, it's.
I got a haircut
450.
today.
Yeah.
I got a haircut
Yeah.
today, and I remembered. Yeah, and then we remembered that like a year ago we were cutting our own hair.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't.
I was. It wasn't pretty.
Because he has a flow beat.
I do. And if I was really vain, I would like get some Brill cream or something and like flip it up, covered my bald head, and then part it in the middle and have it come down Snidely Whiplash style.
Oh, that's
Something
Willie
weird
Nelson.
like that.
Well, that's Willie Nelson style there.
On the road
Well,
again.
regardless of the style, I have no intention of ever doing a comb over. I've already told my wife if you ever see me with a comb over, just shoot me. Shoot me, because I've obviously become senile at that point. All right,
I'm pretty
let's get
good.
back
I'm pretty
to-
good here, but not that. Okay, back here.
Yeah,
We could talk-
done
you
here.
know, the three of us could talk
here's-
about
here's
malpad
the
and baldness
thing, guys.
at the after
Here's
show
the
here.
thing, guys. Let's not compare bald spots,
Mhm.
okay? Because you're gonna lose.
I know I am.
Yeah, but you got more hair.
Bad.
You got a lot of hair. You got a lot of hair in the rest of your face. So
The tail.
and your back. your
Hairy back.
your hair grows
How
on
the hell
like
would
the
you
bottom.
know?
It grows on the bottom of your head and not the top of your head. It's upside down.
This show has taken
It's
a
going.
dark-
They were going down a train wreck right now.
All right, new
Oh my
iMacs
God.
crooked, bad.
Okay,
Next.
crooked iMacs, and so we have
Yeah.
each of us have to go to an Apple store before next week and do measurements to see how off they are. All right, Tim
And then-
Cook in an interview as part of the Viva Tech, and that isn't Taco Viva, but Viva Tech conference,
Viva
just going way
Las
back,
Vegas.
stated that Europe's Digital Markets Act is not in the best interests of the EU's users and should be reconsidered. While some laud forcing Apple to make changes to pre-installed apps from Apple, sideloading would lead to damaging both security and privacy, citing Android's 47 times amount of malware as compared to iOS. He also pushed back on charges that Apple is a monopoly when the company has around a 23% market share in France, which I'm guessing is where this conference is taking place. Frankly, unless Apple blocks other companies from making similar apps, I mean, really, it's probably in Apple's best interests at this point to make it so that users can dump the pre-installed apps for somebody else's apps and just make that easy to do. At which point this argument about Apple's, I guess, wouldn't totally go away, but it would put quite a dent in the argument that Apple is preventing other companies from from making similar apps to the ones that they include. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I think just like the next story we're going to talk about here, just changing from pre-installed apps and side loading. I agree. It's going to cause issues with security and privacy because you're side loading something that isn't being controlled. Look at all you have the keyword in this text here is Android. I mean, Android has so many apps that are so rogue. I wouldn't be surprised that Apple would even allow it at this point. And like I said, a lot of malware as opposed to what's in the iOS. I don't think that would happen. So yeah, side loading isn't going to happen anytime soon. I don't think. But I mean, it's in France. I guess France could force them, and hard to say.
If one country forces Apple to allow for side loading apps, Warren, do you think that would be an avalanche that would break the back of the App Store?
I think Apple would have to change. It wouldn't be if that happened. The OS, as you know, it would not be the same as it would be if that happened. Apple would make some kind of change where, I don't know, you would lose if you did that, you would lose functions of the phone. You can't FaceTime anymore or something like that. I think Apple, would make changes in what they're doing, because otherwise, they have to still protect their system.
Right.
But Tim Cook said all the right things. He said what Apple wants them to say. And you know what, there's money in it, and they're allowed to make money. And Tim Cook, reports to the board, and they want money. So it's just crazy that one of the things he can't say anymore is listen, we have a walled garden, and we have it for a reason, and we're not a monopoly, because everybody else could do their own thing, and if we want to charge 30%, that's what we're doing.
I think the problem is that the level of entry for other companies that make apps similar to Apple, especially if they're paid apps, is very, very high. It's difficult to, and you can look at like what happened with Internet Explorer when Microsoft made that free in Windows, and what happened to all of the companies that were charging for
Netflix,
web browsers.
Netscape,
yeah, they all vanished because there was no way to compete with free. So the argument could be made that Apple having free apps that offer similar functionality to what other companies are charging for their apps could be construed as monopolistic behavior. The problem with it is no one is forcing these companies to make apps that compete with free apps. It's not like, because Netscape Navigator was like one of the first web browsers out there. And it wasn't until that became a thing that Microsoft created Internet Explorer and gave it away for free, which killed Netscape's business market. In this case, it's kind of the opposite, where Apple comes out with the iPhone and they have a series of applications that are default on the iPhone through iOS, and these other companies came in and said, well, let's make a mail app, and let's make a movie creation app, and let's make all these other apps. Oh, darn it, it's not fair because Apple is giving those away for free and we want to charge for them. So, I find it difficult to make the argument that Apple is engaging in monopolistic behavior when they were there first.
Well, I mean, Apple's also Sherlock comes to, they'll come out with a new feature that kills the company off, basically. So that's the other way.
That's where that phrase came from.
Right. But so, I mean, again, it comes down to what's monopoly. I mean, and
what is monopolistic behavior? Right.
Exactly. I mean, if Apple said we're making all the apps and nobody could come into our store at all, is that, and only we could sell apps to ourselves or whatever, and so nobody could come in. Is that a monopoly since they could go to another platform, or is a platform a monopoly or the whole payment system? I guess is what I'm asking.
Well, I think the argument is being made that since the only way to get applications is through the App Store, that Apple has a virtual monopoly on iOS apps, which is true. However, what they don't have is overwhelming market share in smartphones. Oh. So how can you make the argument that they're preventing other companies from making money in the smartphone marketplace when they don't even have 1/4 of the total install base? And there's all these other platforms and all these other stores out there that they can sell their apps at.
Developers
Android is still the overwhelming choice when it comes to smartphones.
Right.
Or at least
developers are in a good place. I mean, right now, like they could, write something and publish it out to, as many different platforms. They could write a Windows version. They could write a Mac version, Android, or an iPhone version, and if they work hard enough, they could get on every platform and make money that way. But since Apple takes a cut and Google takes a cut, that's the only difference, right?
I mean, each of them. The thing is, Google, in the way that they set up Android, you don't have to get applications from the Google Play Store. There's a ton of different stores out there that you can get Android apps from. Not necessarily safe places to go, and not necessarily are you going to get the application that you think you're getting. It could be ripped off from some other developer, which happens quite a bit. It happens quite a bit in iOS, but it's crazy insane.
Yeah, but nobody's arguing to Apple that it's not fair. You're not letting cracked apps into our store.
No. But what they're saying is that because you don't allow any other stores, that we are forced to pay you $99 a year for a development license, and we're forced to give you 15 to 30% of any money that is generated from either sales or subscription services in the iOS App Store, because Apple, being the gatekeeper, is well aware of all purchases that are made. They're well aware of all subscriptions and all money's changing hand, because it all goes through Apple.
Would one of these stores be a national company, like a national company that would host a store? Follow me what I'm saying here. So you got, if this happened and you have multiple stores, that store is going to want to charge as well, and take a cut. So it's really, because they won't survive otherwise, whatever service is doing it. So there's always going to be a cut, and they're all going to try to make money at this point. So everybody has this dream that, like, if you let different stores into the iOS system, that all the developers are just going to get together and run one public store, and that's not going to happen. It's going to be like another Amazon, which you could do a store on to install Android devices, where you're paying another company a portion of whatever for a developer
to be on their platform.
To be on their platform, because that's how they get, that's how they exist. So again, even if you open it up to other places to get it that are not illegal or dangerous, somebody else is going to take a cut from the developers, no matter where you go.
What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, no matter what they're going to do, they're going to go to someplace else. I kind of like that comment that Derek just said, but Apple does make more money than the Google Play Store, and they must be doing something right. I mean, they're paying out billions of dollars to these developers for their apps, and these developers are doing pretty well considering. So I don't know. I kind of agree of this whole topic. This can be damaging to security and to privacy, for that matter. And I just be questioning. It's questionable if it has to be done, and if Apple will comply.
Well, they won't have any choice.
Yeah.
it's either you either comply or you stop making iOS or stop making iPhones.
Well, if it's countries, I mean, if it was a
If
choice
it's country
between selling,
specific.
if Apple, right, like hypothetically, if Apple had to choose between opening up iOS to other places or not selling phones in France, what do you think they would do? And I don't know the answer either.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
They would probably try to fight it by possibly not selling iPhones in a particular store or country or region.
Right.
The problem though is, what if that country is the United States? And we're going to talk about that coming up here in a second. Or what if it's China? Or what if it's one of these other countries where a sizable amount of the number of phones that they sell come from that area?
Yeah.
At what point do they either throw in the towel, which I can't see them doing, or do they go ahead and make the changes and make it as safe as they possibly can? And then when the inevitable happens, which is user privacy goes to crap and people's phones are getting hacked left and right. And for a lot of these countries, they'd probably welcome it because they'd be the ones doing the hacking. But at that point, Apple can say, see, I told you, but then it's too late.
Right. I mean, everybody's going to say, well, if Steve Jobs was here, he would stop selling iPhones if they were going to make them change it.
I don't think that's true.
You don't? I don't know.
Not when the iPhone is the vast majority of Apple's profits. And if it was iPads, I could see it. If it was the Mac, even with the Mac, I could almost see the Mac. But for
Steve
now,
Jobs has a big FU, I think. I don't know. He would do that. And he would, he would do that and he would invent something better that would do something the same.
With the market share that Apple had when he was alive, I would say, yeah, he might. But when you look at just the sheer amount of money that's coming into Apple, just based on iOS and the iPhone, that's a hard nut to swallow. That's not even the right analogy, but you guys know what I'm saying. That bird doesn't fly far from that tree. Something along those lines. All right. On a similar note, and this is the last story I have for tonight. Oh, you got something, Dave. U.S. Representative David Cicilline, I think that's his name. He's a Democrat from Rhode Island. Says he's backing a bill that would. Sorry.
I said
what is it? He is silly. David Silly. That's what we're going to call him. He's backing a bill that would prevent Apple from installing its own apps on devices it manufactures. He told Bloomberg that a bill currently introduced would do just that and wouldn't be limited to Apple, but include offerings from Google and Android. Another bill would force these companies to split their app developments into a different company, independent of the main. I'm going to start with Dave. What are your thoughts on that, Dave?
Crazy. I mean, what difference does it make? Apple is allowing other companies to put their default apps. They opened that up for a reason, and they've been doing it, nonstop with mail, with browsers, with other apps, and they've got third-party APIs they opened up with FaceTime and others from DubDub from last week. I mean, why do we need to do this? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Because it gets them front page.
Exactly. I mean, it's just okay. That you now got everybody's attention. I just don't see this getting through the getting through the Senate.
What do you think, Warren?
I think Apple should create a spin-off company called like Ipple, with Tom Cook as the Tom Cook would be the CIO, and then they just have that company make their software, and that everything's good.
Well, then they got that great guy in charge of marketing, Jeff Farrago. So
yeah,
it's wonderful company.
They have a Air Force too.
Air Force too.
Yeah.
And their big competition would be Macrosoft. Got it.
Right.
Yeah.
And Gaggle.
like McDonald's as opposed to McDonald's,
But I don't think. I don't think.
From?
I think these. in any case, these guys are on drugs. There's no way that they're going to convince Apple to.
Oh, come on, he's a U.S. representative. He doesn't do drugs.
They're allowed to promote their own stuff. Sorry.
How could this be a law that the House and Senate could push through is beyond me.
Yeah. That's never going to get through.
I don't think that this is something that will be passed. I don't think it's something that David Silly, Democrat from Rhode Island,
the small state in the union,
Silleysville, U.S.
Silleysville. Let's just call it Silleysville. Democrat from Silleysville. I don't think he even expects it to pass. I think the problem is a lot of these people in the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House. I want to word this very, very carefully. Seem to think that Twitter is real. That you can generate laws based on what certain people on Twitter say, instead of actually looking at what it is that you're doing and saying, what the hell are you even thinking about?
I mean,
so
obviously
get off
people
of
on
social media, David Silly.
There's
social
a whole
media is not your friend. You're this close to being canceled. This close.
Guy, there's a whole bunch of Twitter users that are interested in getting Apple to not promote their stuff so much because they want their stuff high too. So you're always going to find a group on Twitter that's going to not agree with you at all.
Well, you're always going to find a group of people on Twitter that don't agree with anybody other than themselves. It's their little circle jerk of moronic fans.
Well, you got everybody like wanting like cheaper stuff, and Apple's too expensive. Blah blah blah. I mean, that's because they're loud.
Then buy an Android phone. Buy a friggin' flip phone. They're real cheap now. They're super cheap. Where it might take you 30 minutes to write a complete text message, but they're really cheap. Go ahead. Go to Mint Mobile.
Sooner or later, they'll discontinue the use of those phones.
Yeah, Deadpool in Mint Mobile. Go there.
People are cheap too. People want the iPhone, but they're cheap, and they want what they want.
So go buy a cheap Android. I mean,
get a job, get a better job.
Get a better job. You're not entitled to stuff just because you want it. That's the way the world works everywhere. Okay, I think that's all I got for tonight. What's this one you got here there, Dave?
No, I wanted to bring this up. I talked about this briefly last night on Mac Voices Live. iPadOS 15. They did a lot of announcements through DubDub, and we went through all the each of the features that were really key here, but people are starting to find things, kind of, I don't know, Easter eggs you can call it, and others. This one just kind of stood out to me because the Files app, it's gaining more support for access to files. Specifically, if anybody has a drive that's formatted in Windows for NTFS, it is going to support it now. It didn't before.
Really?
It's going to support the access to the drive, so you can. It's read only, but I mean, if someone gives you a drive that's from the Windows world formatted in NTFS, you can now plug this into an iPad, on iPadOS 15, and be able to get the files that are on that particular drive.
And copy it over.
And copy it over into the Files app on the iPad. And so just like a Mac OS, you can do that same thing with an NTFS device, but now you can at least now copy it onto an iPad. The other thing too is the progress indicator. That was always annoying when you were copying something from, let's say,
and you had no idea how long it was.
This was also discovered that you have a process indicator that's actually going to show you how much longer you have until the file finally copies over. I think that's great.
Before you go any farther, let's remember one thing. It's even on the Mac when it says, "Oh, it's going to take you another minute or two."
Right. It's always. That's
you really don't know.
But this is an actual indicator. It's an indicator.
At least it's giving you hope instead of just, I'm copying. Oh, you want to know when I'm going to be done? No. too bad.
Yeah.
I'll be done when I'm done. All right.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I'm iOS 13, and I'll be done when I'm done.
Yeah. And then the last thing in this article was that if you are using a mouse or a trackpad, it is now possible to click and hold and drag a selection over multiple files and folders to perform batch actions such as compress, move, copy, and so on. You couldn't do that on iPad before. So, and then you can also use groups as a view option. So the files and folders are arranged in the screen's separate sections according to what kind of files they are. So it's getting there. It's getting there.
That goes up right into the dock.
They're really burning up that effort on this stuff.
Well, I mean, it's getting there. I think I know as much as people are bellyaching about, they didn't release a lot of great features through iPadOS. At least we've got some progress here with some stuff that, especially with the Files app, because that was always the complaint. It's very hard to navigate the Files app on iPad and be able to have a good experience. And again, people are more and more are holding out hope to make iPad their full-time device. We're a lot closer than we were 3 years ago. So
yeah. And when you consider some of the new multi-app choices that you have, because it used to be you basically had one or two ways to open up multiple applications at the same time. Now you've got 3 or 4, and the ways that they're introducing make it easier than it was before. I still won't say that it's easy, because it's still it involves a number of steps that
it does
just seem ridiculous when you have mouse support and everything else. And I think the one thing I would love to see on the iPad is resizable windows, so that you could have multiple apps open. I was going
to say with the Files app real fast is that's the big problem, is because generally you want to have 2 Finder windows open to copy from one thing to another too. And that's,
you still can. You can do that with this.
You can do that on an iPad, but you have to copy.
You just have to open
then
up 2 instances of the Files app.
Split screen,
side by side.
You heard it. It's split screen, yeah. But can you drag it across the screen?
Yeah.
Because you can do that with what's that? The new thing with Monterey that the enhancement to Sidecar. You can be dragging between an iPad and a Mac and be able to drag things across.
Right. But just wondering if you could drag it from the Files app to the other file app on the iPad.
Yeah,
I haven't tried it, but I think it's possible.
I've seen videos that show it happen.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just a small bit. There's so much other stuff out there. You just go on YouTube and watch millions of hours of stuff that people have done, and there's just little things that Apple didn't talk about or say anything about that they've added, and even was mentioned during the Dub's sessions after the keynote. There's a lot of stuff that was announced that people didn't really care about because it's it's a developer type of thing. So.
There's a hidden setting that says Mac OS mode.
That
I didn't see.
I need that to be an app that I can sideload.
That I didn't see.
Where I've got all the menus across the top of the window instead of across the top of the screen. Anyway, that's all we got for tonight.
Yeah.
We're gonna do our little outro here. Dave, if people wanted to find you and find you fast, how would they do so?
They would do this at In Touch with iOS at intouchwithios.com. This week's guests are going to be my friend Brian and his son Holden Depardo. They're coming back onto the show tomorrow, and we're going to have some fun with that. And you'll also find me on Mac Voices Live on Tuesday nights. We always have we'll have a lot of fun. We missed you yesterday, Guy. Yeah, and also find me on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network on Fridays. And you find me here, and you find me Suburban Chicago Apple Users and doing all kinds of stuff there, including I just did an iPhone special interest with Kelly. People. So, and then Dave G65 is my Twitter handle. Thank you.
Okay, Warren. Whoa.
What?
You've gotten smaller and farther away.
I'm trying
I was about to ask how can people find you, but it's like I don't know.
I'm trying to escape.
Yeah, I know he's there someplace. Your shirt like blends in with the background.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone.
Where'd he go? Anyways, you could if you find Dave, tell him to find me, and that's where he'll find me.
All kinds of stuff over there at Facebook's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you would like to get a hold of me, the email address is guy@mymac.com. I have 2 different Twitter accounts, MacParrot and VertShark. And of course, there's the vertshark.com website where you can see all the vids. And if you also see all the vids over there at on the Tubes of You, just do a search for VertShark. The stuff from Guy's Daily Drive, which I recorded a new one today. I've got to work on that after I'm done with this. And as well as Chuck's Tuesday Night Mac Voices that I missed last night. And the mymac.com podcast that I do with Gaz. Over 10 years now. We're coming up on, well, I won't say we're coming up on 11 years because that won't be till next March, but it's a solid 10 years. Solid. So solid. All right.
Solid like a rock.
Solid like a rock. I had a friend of mine from Fort Lauderdale today tell me he's now listening to music he hated in the 70s.
And that's one of the songs.
And yeah, that was one of the, and a lot of it, he actually mentioned a few disco groups. And I was like, dude, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, really? And now you've gone to KC and the Sunshine Band.
I realized.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
And the Bee Gees.
I realized recently that I like Rush.
Sgt. Pepper Bee Gees.
Recently, I've been a huge
one
Rush
of the
fan.
worst movies ever made.
Just since I've been doing
Sgt.
edibles.
Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band with Peter Frampton and the Bee Gees.
Yeah, it's bad.
What were you thinking? What were any of you thinking when you made that movie? And the weird thing, I know this is completely off topic. A girl I was dating at the time loved that movie. We went to see it under duress from me the first time because I knew how bad it was going to be, and it was. And I stayed through the whole movie, and then the next weekend came up, and she was like, "Well, let's go see it again." I was like, "No," which may or may not have led to our breakup at some point down the line. But I was not going to pay good money to see that movie again. And we have a couple comments before we go. Let's see. Warren needs to play outro on the keyboard. I know you can't even tell you how it goes, but that is
I
going
would play
to
it,
do
but
it.
that would screw up the MIDI. I'll play with it after the show because it's all connected. And
Okay, yeah. So if anybody wants to see that, Warren is going to attempt that once we leave and we're getting ready to go. So say goodnight, Dave. Say goodnight, Warren.
Good night, Dave.
say goodnight, Dave. Say goodnight, Warren.
Yeah, that's close enough. All right, good night, everybody.
Whoops.
Whoa, what happened there? The whole thing. That was the weirdest shit. Two things happened in quick succession. Number one, the outro froze. And I was standing there going, what the hell just happened there?
Then it just started right back up again.
And so no, I clicked on it and then it came back to us. And right as that happened, the earpiece fell out of my ear, and then I hit the outro again. So I don't know. It's
Batman.
weird. Batman. I'm Batman.
Yeah.
Joker. Rachel. I miss Christian Bale Batman. He was a great Batman. Now we got what? Robert Patterson, is that his name?
Picard season 2.
We have sparkly vampire Batman. That's what he did before. He was in what was that series of movies with sparkly vampires
Twilight.
and werewolves? Twilight, yeah. Was that a series of movies or was that a stupid TV show?
3 of them.
3 movies?
3 movies.
And now he's Batman.
You should see this text one of my clients just sent me over. It's like not even a client, like somebody I never met before, but
thank you, Derek.
in essence, she says her Gmail hung once, and she called Apple on her iPhone because she wasn't getting her Gmail, and Apple said there was a problem.
Went over really well.
It's not our problem.
Well, Apple said it's a problem on the server, and then it fixed itself, and that was like a month ago. She said it happened again today. I want to make sure my phone's not broken.
Hacked.
Not hacked.
I've been noticing once in a while using the mail app that Gmail would be delayed receiving emails.
That's half what I'm writing here. She has 2 accounts, so one account got the mail and the other one was hanging. So
yeah.
All right.
Are they both Gmail or
what do you expect for free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having a problem at work with some Exchange servers and SharePoint. So, yay!
Yep.
And remember, everybody, we are still live. So they're all waiting for Warren and his amazing organ skills. And careful how you say that.
How would I even possibly? So I got an audio question for you. All right.
Yeah.
I have a MIDI keyboard plugged into MIDI to USB on my Mac. That's how I'm getting the keyboard sounds onto it because it's a MIDI keyboard. All right. Then I have the microphone going into the Focusrite into a USB. Yep. So I got that as those are my 2 inputs that I have, the microphone and the keyboard at this point.
Yeah,
okay?
Create an aggregate device in audio MIDI setup in the utilities folder.
Right. So what I want to do is have you hear what's coming out of my
open the utilities folder on the Mac.
Okay.
And there'll be a program there called Audio MIDI Setup.
Audio setup. I found it. Yeah.
Okay, open that.
Yep. I'm there.
Okay, and you'll see the Scarlett 2i2. I don't know what it calls it in audio devices on the left-hand side. Does it say Scarlett?
Yeah, but it's on output.
If you go down to the bottom, you'll see a plus symbol. Bottom left.
This is output. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to it should be on output,
it says,
right?
Create aggregate device.
Okay.
From the plus sign.
I did. Yep.
Okay, and now you'll see there's a series of like check boxes with all of your input devices. One of them is going to be the Scarlett. The other one's going to be your organ or your MIDI device.
It's quite an organ too.
So wait, one says use and the other says drift. One says use, the other says drift correction.
You want to choose the Scarlett 2i2.
Hold on one second.
And that's going to have both in and out. Just hit the checkbox next to it
with his organ.
With your organ. Tonight, mysterious nuclear explosion in Pennsylvania. Killed at 11.
Okay. Do you see my screen?
No.
No.
No, really.
Let me go full screen with you. Oh, yes. Hold on. There we go.
Okay. So this is what I see now.
Okay, so you want to choose the Scarlett 2i2, the second one down.
Like that.
And then where's the
MIDI?
Oh, yeah.
where is it?
I don't see it there.
Is it plugged in?
That she said.
It was.
Plug in your organ. Oh, the comedic value is rising. Everyone who has stayed for this after show. I may have to put this out separately. This is
I'm having issues. Hold on one second.
You're having issues with your organ?
Well, it doesn't. It only powers up sometimes. And I think it's because I'm using the other thing.
So you're having trouble getting your organ up.
Yeah.
You also got your messages app open, so be careful if there's anything you don't want somebody to see appear on public.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought it was minimized. You can't see that?
I can see it. Yes.
Ooh.
Well, you can select just the audio device window to share. You don't have to share anything else.
It didn't let me do that, but I'm gonna stop sharing.
Well, just hit share screen again, and then you'll see there'll be some stuff at the very top, and one of them is going to say like Google Chrome tabs, and another one's going to say applications.
In StreamYard, doesn't say that at all. I hit share.
Doesn't?
One says video file, one says share screen.
Right, share screen.
And then it says screen sharing tips, and it says share screen.
And when you choose
wait. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, then you go to window.
I'm just a little drunk. There you go. It's done.
Okay.
Okay. So for whatever reason, my piano is supposed to light up when you get the USB connected into the computer.
Yeah.
And it's not doing that. And I think it's because
is there like a headphone jack out of it that you can plug it into like speakers or anything like that?
No, it's a MIDI keyboard. It doesn't work like that. It's like an input.
I mean, you can probably connect up like headphones or something to it, right?
No, it's a MIDI keyboard. It's
that's the only output is the internal speakers.
Look up MIDI. Yeah, look up MIDI keyboard.
I know what a MIDI keyboard is.
Yeah,
but even most MIDI devices also have like some kind of TRS or TRRS output.
Keyboards do, like a normal keyboard that has a MIDI output, but these are basically these are just for MIDI devices. That's all it does. In fact, I can show you.
What's the aggregate device?
I don't know. What is that? I don't know.
That's the device he just made.
That's one that he told me to make.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm going to do one thing here. This might work. You're going to lose the webcam for a second. Aha. That's doing good. Hold on. I got lights.
I didn't recognize it.
Hold on. Is my camera back on?
No. Well, it's odd that it's just not showing up.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be something with the fact that it's a MIDI device. I'm looking to see what else we got here. There's something under window in the menu. It says show MIDI studio. If you go all the way up to the top menu. You see what I'm talking about? Warren?
He's gone.
Did we lose? No, he's... Yeah, I think he is gone. No, well, his computer's still here.
His mic is gone.
Yeah.
He can't hear us.
He may be able to hear us. I don't know.
Boy,
Warren,
Warren.
if you can hear us, go to...
All I can say is...
Yeah, it's a mess. Go to the very top where it says window. There's a thing there that says show me studio. I have actually never looked at this before. I don't even really know what this does. Oh,
Yeah, is he completely gone now?
yeah. Well, no, his computer's back again.
Is that his mouse?
Yeah. So I can't control what he's doing.
Of course not.
Who could? No, I really want to make this work if we can.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun. I wish I had a MIDI device so I could try this, but I don't.
I don't either.
This MIDI Studio, have you ever opened this before?
For very rarely.
Because it's showing me my interface.
Ugh.
Hold on, I'm gonna bring this up. Let me do share screen also.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
So it's seeing my
Where do you enable that?
air, which if you open up
Audio MIDI setup.
audio MIDI setup, and then you go up to the top of the screen, and where it says window,
He's
and there's a thing there that says
there
MIDI
it is.
Studio.
I see it.
And then once you open it, there's a separate
Yeah, I see it.
menu option that says MIDI Studio.
Yep. I think he just sent us a message. Facebook.
Private chat. He can hear us. Okay.
Got that, Warren.
But look, check. Oh, I can't do it there. Look at this. I can pull out. So if I had some other device here, I could have it so that it's going into my interface, or wait, damn it, I'm kind of confused here. Or leaving my interface to some other device.
Right. Kind of like
So if,
audio hijack.
in a way, yeah, it kind of does look like that. Except I have no idea how.
Or
this
loop
works.
or loop back.
I'm not really sure how it works because I don't have a MIDI device. And I've never tried it before.
Yep.
But it looks cool.
Warren.
There he is. Warren, you've changed.
Do you hear anything? Anything?
No.
Anything? Hold on. Do you see anything? Hold on.
Yeah.
It says master key. Or is that your
Hold
screen?
on.
Okay.
Hold on.
No, that's his screen.
Hold on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Hold on. Hold on. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Now we can see you.
Yeah. So
There's a way to
here's
do
a set. Yeah. Here's a setup. And here, first of all, I have a. I think I have a good hub. What are the Apple USB-C to USB-A VGA HDMI thing? I can't pull it out to show you, but so.
Guy's gone.
Where'd he go?
I don't know.
Well, he's playing with his shit too, because that's.
We're still live on Facebook too.
Anyways, I'll have to figure it out. I have a MIDI keyboard coming into the computer. I have the Scarlet box.
What happened to you?
I accidentally quit Chrome. I was trying to. And then,
Yeah. You know what?
I was like,
I can't even. And you're not on your mic anymore.
oh, I'm not.
Nope.
Okay.
Guys, I'm gonna try to figure this out later. But all right. I'll see you. I'm out of here.
Later.
Oh, I'm on the
Talk to you
AirPods
later.
for whatever reason.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
There, that should
Bye.
be better.
All right, we can go offline now.
No, it's not going to be better. That'd be better. If I could figure out the inputs and outputs.
Okay, we can stop streaming now.
Okay. Good night, everybody. What a weird ending.